Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Night after night in the dark I'm alone, so find me a match of my own.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's Monday, and we're going to talk about Match Me Abroad, Season 1, Episode 7. Did you think you'd get a prince? ? I'm here with our friend Keisha. Keisha, how much do you love that music? Not as much as me.
Not nearly as much as you. I don't think it's possible for me to like it nearly as much as you. Occasionally I roll my eyes while it's playing, but you have such joy. She dances when it's on, guys. She's smiling like this is like her theme song or something. Like, yeah.
I love it. I love that
She feels
song.
it. She feels it. She feels it in her soul. Yes. I wish you guys could see that.
I've never even seen Fiddler on the Roof. So you know what I mean? Which is what this is from. And I've never even seen that. So why do I love it so much? I don't know. I like the jaunty show tune. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to go see it together one day. I don't know.
Maybe we will.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that we'll be meeting each other for the very first time at BravoCon. Like, I don't realize that people notice that we have never met before in like real life.
It's funny you said that because today I was at the pool with my friend GMA Mary, and I was telling her about the whatnot.
GMA. Good morning,
Well, it's
America?
It's Mary, but we call her GMA Mary on the podcast because during COVID, I refused to watch the news. So she and I go for a walk every day, and she would tell me the news that she had gleaned from Good Morning America.
Gotcha.
So it's the news 3 times removed. So God knows. So I was at the pool with her today, and I was telling her about how we were waiting on our screener, and we were going to record, and I was telling her I was recording with you, and she was like, so has Keisha, because Mary's been to a couple of our bunkie meetups, and she was like, has Keisha been to a meetup? I said, no, because she lives all the way in Texas. She's like, what? She's like, you talk about her all the time. I thought you guys knew each other in person. And I said, well, we know each other in person, but not in person.
Yeah, I mean, we know what we look like. We talk. We kind of. I know when she's gonna yawn. She knows when I'm gonna cuss. Like we've got it all figured out. We just have never ever physically touched or hugged one another. But it's coming soon, people.
It's coming soon. It's coming in November. That's right.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
If we get tickets,
I'm excited.
When are they gonna put those tickets out, Keisha? Why won't they tell us?
We have been waiting. I need them to hurry up before I spend my ticket money.
I know. I know. Same.
I'm like, come on now, because I will spend this money on a new wig in a minute. So
I know.
Yeah.
I did get a pair of hot pink sparkly shorts. So I'm thinking that'll be real cute. Yeah, that'll be real cute. Won't it be cute?
I think so. Ooh, maybe I need to get a pair of sparkly pants.
Yeah, sparkly something. Got to do it. We're going to Vegas.
Okay. Do it up. Okay. Oh, and everyone, we finally have a release date for Love during lockup, July 21st. Thank the Lord.
I know, Keisha. Here's the problem.
What?
It's going to overlap with this show by 3 episodes. So I don't know what we're going to do. We got to find out what happens to these people, and then we got to start with Love During Lockup. So I don't know if we're going to have to do 2 in 1 episode. We have to zip through Match Me Abroad and then get to Love before Lockup. I don't know. It's a lot of stress on me right now. I'm like, why so many good shows at once?
Oh boy, that is a conundrum right there.
I know.
Oh, I don't know, but I got to say, this new cast looks extra dumb. They look extra touched.
I haven't looked at it yet. I've seen the screeners.
Well, people have been sending me the trailers and like pictures and stuff. I'm like, oh, they look extra touched by the Lord. They really, really do. So I'm looking forward to it.
Do we have any repeat offenders or all new?
No, these are all new people. Yeah.
All new dummies. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I can't wait.
Me neither. I
Extra
cannot
touch.
wait. Extra
Extra
touch.
touch.
Yes, 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 yes. They are. And I'm like, and that just makes me so much more excited. I'm like, we're gonna have so much to make fun of. They are
Yeah.
just giving us the material. So yeah, the countdown is on.
Oh, gracious. All right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, July 21st, that will be, I don't know. I can't look at my calendar because it's on June right now with my charade says, who go check me, boo. I haven't turned it to July yet. So I don't know. We'll be covering it here. It'll be on Mondays as per usual, but I don't know if what we're going to do with Match Me Abroad. We're going to still cover it because we've got to know what happens to these people.
You do. Mm-hmm.
Please let Harold get married at the end of this season because that's the only outcome that'll be acceptable.
I'm kind of having a good feeling about this after
I
this
know.
episode. I don't know. I think we got a love connection.
And by the way, lots of people wrote to tell me that I was dumb because when, which I love every week, Michaela, when she said, when I was like, I don't know what she said her name was Isha. She said, my name is
Misha.
Misha, which of
Yeah.
course is a nickname for Michaela. And I should know that because I was back in the day, probably still am, I guess, a huge fan of Mikhail Baryshnikov, the dancer.
Ballet dancer. Uh-huh.
And he was also known as Misha. So why didn't I figure that out when she said Isha? I just didn't hear the M. Anyway, okay, so I got it.
We did. We did figure that out. We did say that. Yes. And I said maybe Misha is a nickname for Michaela, kind of like Keisha is for Keisha. We said that. We said that.
I don't know if we did because I was saying Isha and I was like Isha because I didn't hear the M part. Anyway, guys, if we didn't know then or if we did know then, we definitely know now.
We damn sure know now because I saw some of the comments as well. I was like, look, we watch a lot of reality TV and there's a lot of recapping. Some stuff we just miss or forget. We just do. Yeah,
that happens a lot. Miss or forget. Yeah. And then the most definitely thing somebody wrote to remind me that was DeVar and the other girl, Pennsylvania. His name was DeVar. Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
Most definitely. Yes. We got it. Thank y'all. We got it. So
we got it now. We got it now.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Lord help me.
All is right in the world.
All right, let's get into these people. All right. So Match Me Abroad, season 1, episode 7. Did you think you'd get a prince? Question mark? Comment? I don't know. So we got Chad. We're gonna start with Chad. Chad's in Colombia. Remember, he landed and there was a girl, Maria, met him right there in the airport. And people are very upset about his skull circle in his pocket and the fact that he seems to dip a lot. Y'all, he is from Pleasant View, Tennessee. I don't know what you're expecting, but that's what they do.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the South. I mean, it's South. We see it all the time. It's not like great. I think it's gross. Yeah. But something that we're just used to seeing in the South all the time. It's like no big deal at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it didn't faze me, but people were disgusted with that. So he tells this that he and his date, Maria, they have a lot in common. She loves family and she's real sweet and she's gorgeous. And then she's like, let's get something to eat. Do you want chorizo? It's like sausage. She goes, yeah, I get sausage sometime with my eggs. I love eggs. I was like, this is not going great.
When he said that, I just put my head down. I'm like, he needs a matchmaker in his ear to tell him how to respond to things. Because between the grass and the eggs, he ain't getting no punani. That's for damn sure. At all. No. He has no game.
No. And she says, I think he's sexy with beautiful eyes and that he loves his mom. And that's great. She's like, but I'm getting a feeling that he works too much. And I do need a man that likes to go out and have fun. But I don't know. Let me get to know him more. Okay.
Yeah.
So he tries the chorizo sausage. And he's like, wow, that burns. So I think he ate something else. But she says, what did you want from the matchmaker? What did you ask for? And he says, tall, dark hair, like as tall as me. And I got to say, you're perfect. And she's like, oh, thank you. And she says, what I wanted in an American man is a gentleman. And he's like, checks all the boxes for, I think you're going to get that with the Southern guy. It's going to most likely be
Southern charm.
Yeah, so pretty
Yeah.
gentlemanlike. And they talk about work. She says she's a community manager. No clue what that means.
And
And she goes to the gym early every morning before work. She starts work around 7 or 8. He says, Keisha, he goes to the gym at 2:30, leaves the gym by
ain't no
4.
way. Ain't no way I'm getting up for 2. The only thing I'm getting up for at 2:30 a.m. is a snack. And that is it. Like, no, James, don't bother me. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. Nothing's going down at 2:30 a.m. The gym?
2:30. Can you
Hell no.
imagine?
No, I
So
cannot.
he leaves the gym at 4. So I wonder if he because I know he drives a truck, but he's home every night.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he must leave work at 5 a.m. to start these deliveries on this truck. And then
That's crazy.
got to get home at like 3 o'clock to cut the grass. Like, I don't know.
I,
That's,
I, maybe I'm assuming he showers and probably gets dressed at the gym
yeah.
and then just goes straight to work. I don't know.
What time does he
I
get home? He's home like at noon? I mean, my God. This is a weird schedule.
Maybe. Well, because he's got to have the light hour so he can cut those straight lines in the grass, Mary Payne. So,
It's true. Great point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she says, now, why did you come to Columbia? He says, well, I'm just kind of hoping to find the one, and I ain't had much luck with women. And, I've been engaged 3 times. And she goes, oh, what? And she says, yeah, love can be hard. Uh-huh. And then he says, have you ever been engaged? She's like, no. When people hear they don't stay together like 1 year and are engaged, like it's a
Right.
much longer process.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I guess everything happens for a reason. And it just
Could you believe that he said? I mean, we're still trying to get over the 3 engagements, but they all happened within a year. Like each one, he asked, "Will you marry me?" within a year.
yeah.
That is a red flag for me.
I feel like he got engaged after 6 months. It was engaged for 6 months, and then whatever happened, and they broke it off. I think the whole thing was within a year. The whole
That's
engagement
crazy
and
to me.
breakup was within a year. Yeah, it's a lot. It's short
I
amount
think
of
he
time.
falls fast and hard.
Yeah.
Look, it took
Yeah.
producer James 7 years to marry my ass. He had to make sure all the crazy was all the way out, and he's like, "Okay, I think she's tapped out at the crazy. Let me go ahead and propose."
like an exorcism.
Exactly.
Be gone.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So she says in her talking head, she's like, yeah, it's weird. He's been engaged 3 times. That's red. I don't know how you say it in your country, but it's a flag on the play. So
Yeah, most definitely.
he tells us, he is slow to warm up, but when he does get to talking, he will say some stuff. And he's like, wow, I hope I didn't talk too much. And I hope I didn't screw that up because, wow, she was everything I wanted. I was like, that was too quick. Too quick for her to be everything you wanted after one chorizo sausage date.
And the 10 words that he said, I mean, look, I kept watching the plate of food because that plate of food looked really, really good. And it was much more interesting than that date. And all
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what's the name of the restaurant? She's like, huh? The name of this place. Huh? What's it called? And she's like, cold? He's like, what's it called? Cold? I was like, oh no.
Oh, this is not going to be a love match. Not at all.
No, not with this girl. No.
Sorry, Chad.
All right, let's move on to our new cast member. It's Michelle. She's 34. She's from Raleigh, North Carolina. She is a marketing manager and a part-time party princess, which she uses her theater degree for, which we love to see that.
Right.
She's going to be using Katerina, the matchmaker, in Prague. So she tells us her love life has been full of disappointment. Yep, she's been cheated on. And, she considers herself a feminist. She doesn't like the pressure that women are put on to fit into a timeline. So she's So she's looking for a nice guy, her Prince Charming, but she needs somebody to be pretty liberal like her, but traditionally romantic. Okay.
Some of the things that she said didn't quite mesh. Like, I'm a feminist, but I'm dressing up as a princess, and our storybook princesses have to be rescued by a man. Her name for me is Michelle with all the teeth, because when she smiles, she shows wisdom teeth. Like you're gonna see all of her teeth. But
Uh-huh.
she is cute. I think she's very attractive.
Yes,
There's
agree.
just something I haven't quite put my finger on it yet. It's just something about her I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And so I think that what I learned from my interview with Susan is that
Mm.
this wasn't, none of these people on this show were looking at this specific country with a specific matchmaker and they happened to make a show. They were making a show and they said, here's where you're going and here's your matchmaker. So I don't like her trying to tell
Oh,
us that she was really researching,
okay.
Katerina. And I don't like that because that's not true. So
Okay. And Kat, I hope she's ready because Katarina gonna be on her ass.
yeah,
She
we
doesn't
like
play at
that.
all.
We
Yeah.
like that
And she's
about
gonna call her
Katerina.
out on her bullshit too. So
Yeah,
mhm.
we like it. So she goes to meet with her friends, Bob, Andy, and Angela. Angela looks just like Rachel Dratch from Wah Wah. I heard there were 12 people died at Disney World. Wah Wah.
She does. And I
She
and
did.
I kind of liked Angela a little bit because she kept looking at Michelle like she was getting on her nerves. Like
Yeah,
everything she said just got on Angela's nerves. I'm like, I kind of like that. Something funny about
because
her.
they all knew what they were supposed to talk about beforehand. So she comes up and is like, guess what, guys? I'm hired a matchmaker. Do you think that's crazy? And Angela goes, that's crazy. And she goes, and I'm going to the Czech Republic. Uh-huh, that's crazy. We already know this. You've already told us before you came in here. Are we supposed to, oh, are we acting now? Yeah, they weren't here for it. They weren't here for it.
I mean, Angela wasn't a theater kid like Michelle, clearly.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
No.
Michelle, this is her Oscar moment here.
Right.
So she does tell us something sad that she was planning in 2020, March 2020, dun, 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 to go to
Hmm.
Europe. But obviously that was canceled because of COVID. And then her father, who she was very close to, died in 2021 of a sudden heart attack. And they were very close. It was a very dark time in her life. And so she put love on the back burner. But she tells them, guess what? I'm going to work with this matchmaker in Prague. And they're like, huh? And
Yeah,
they're
it's just of
like,
all the places that you just don't expect to hear Prague. You expect to hear like Italy, um,
yes,
Spain, places like,
yes,
England to meet a prince, but never
yes.
Prague. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
never Prague.
Mm-mm.
So, what Susan said was they kind of had to go where that was COVID friendly for them to film, is what she said.
Right. Gotcha.
So, and they were like, that's a weird choice. She was like, what? I could move. I could live in Prague. And they're like, really? And then once
Really?
again, Angela, that's crazy. So, that's all she said. So she says, maybe Eastern European men will make me feel loved and respected. And I've done so much work on Katerina. I think Katerina is my fairy godmother. All right, we get it.
Of course,
We get it.
we get the
It's
whole
a
princess
it's a
thing.
theme. It's a
Uh,
theme.
Next, she's gonna be saying bippity boppity boo and
Oh
shit like
no.
that.
Oh no. Please no. So she FaceTimes with Katerina. And Katerina tells us, Michelle is curious and educated, intelligent, but she's extremely emancipated. And a feminist princess is an oxymoron.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
she's
Hmm.
she's she's got her freedom there in the United States, but to be a feminist princess is an oxymoron. She says this will be very interesting to see how this will work in our very traditional culture.
Now, do you
Yeah.
think Harold or Michelle is going to give Katerina the hardest time?
Well, my vote would have been on Harold, but because he was so amiable to the clothes and the listening to the advice, I
Mm-hmm.
think that Harold can be molded. And I think that Michelle's going to be like, "You're not going to tell me what to do." Mm-mm.
I think so too.
She's going to be
I
a little
agree.
like Susan, like, "Why aren't you getting me what I'm asking for?" Don't you
Yep.
think?
Susan
Yeah.
Jr.
Mhm.
Wait,
So
I'm sorry, Princess Susan Jr.
it'd be Queen Susan and Princess Michelle. That's
Oh,
what it
yes,
does.
there we
Yeah,
go. There
yeah.
we go. Get those titles
So
right.
they're talking outside on the FaceTime, and she says, "Listen, I gotta ask you something, Michelle. Like, you don't because you're so different from the women here. Like, do you feel like you could fully surrender to a man?" And Michelle goes, "Listen, I don't like that term, surrender. It seems like a power play term." And she's like, "No, what I mean
Mhm.
is you have to be able to let go and not always
Right,
try to be the strong one. And would you be able to soften up a little bit?"
right.
And she's like, "Yeah, I don't know." And then after they hang up, she goes, I'm kind of rethinking this. Maybe these European men won't be a great match for my personality. Well, too late. You're on a show. So, yeah.
Yep. You signed a contract and we want to see it to the end.
And maybe this is why she's coming in towards the end, because maybe she has a very short storyline.
Well, I
You
thought it
know?
was odd that they were bringing in another person.
Mhm.
I thought Chad was going to be it, but then they're like, no, here comes Susan and all the teeth. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's Michelle with all the teeth.
Michelle with all the teeth.
All the
Oh,
teeth.
it's so funny. Well, listen, I got to say, though, she's got on the princess costume. It's like, hello, boys and girls. How are you? We've all been to those parties where the princesses
Yes,
come.
we have.
But I've never seen one with like a half sleeve of tats on the arm. I'm like, how are you explaining Cinderella with her tats? Now, come on now.
Look, Cinderella said she just got tired of some shit, so she just went hard, and she needed to, on her body discuss, the trials and tribulations of living with those evil stepsisters and a stepmother. I don't know, because I would be shocked to tell if I, rented a party princess and Michelle with all her tats showed up.
I would
Like,
too. I would
oh,
too.
okay, yeah.
Listen, you have tattoos. I have
Oh yeah,
tattoos. I'm not against tattoos. I'm just saying
not at all.
it's not what you would see at a normal like princess party. But maybe they'll be like, well, listen, we got a broke down princess. It's all we could afford, but she could sing and it's fine. Yeah.
Discount,
Discount princess.
code. Mhm.
All right. So we'll go to Mark, who we didn't see last week, thank goodness.
I know.
He meets with Nina at a bar. And Nina, it's Muslim. She doesn't drink. She has water. But she's like, I thought maybe you were probably tired of drinking tea. He's like, yeah,
Right.
hot tea in a hot afternoon in a hot country is a bad idea. So she says, how was your date with whatever her name was? And he goes, yeah, she was sweet. She was funny. She was super nice. And Nina goes, well, she had a great time and would like to see you again. How do you feel about that? And he goes, I want to see whoever you've got for me next, because I liked her and everything, but she was too young for me. I was like,
Okay.
okay, all right. She was 20 years younger than him.
That was a lot, and
A
not
lot.
to mention she looked 19.
Yeah, totally. So Nina goes, great. Your second match is Huda, and she's 25, so she's only 19 years younger than you.
I know.
What? Now,
Nina's
Nina.
not getting it with the age gaps at all.
Okay. But, she's young. She comes across much older. She's already a boss. She's a business owner. She's adventurous. She's open-minded. She sees a photo and is like, she's gorgeous. And he's like, all right,
Yeah.
okay. Why didn't he go, why didn't he say right then, I just told you that 24 is too young, so 25 is also too young. Please get me 30 and above. But he says,
saw her picture and thought she was hot. I mean, it is Mark.
Yeah, right. So Nina's like, listen, Huda already has a spot ready in mind for the date, and she wants to be wined and dined. So you need to dress to impress, and you're going to have to, meaning don't wear those janky shorts and t-shirt like you did last time.
Right.
And you're going to have to pick her up from her family's home, all very traditional, which is the gentleman thing to do. And he goes, all right. I've never done that. Well, all right. He's like, it was like I'm 17 going to prom, but all right. So,
well, he was dressed like he was going to prom when he showed up to our house.
But listen, Nina said you need to dress to impress. You're going to a very nice restaurant. So he put on a suit, which I thought was nice.
Well, I was surprised that he actually listened.
Right. Maybe a suit with no tie would have been better. Like the tie was too much.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So he gets dressed up in a suit and goes to find her house, and he comes to a tiny, tiny door, which was hilarious. He's like, hello. He has to squat down. But this house was gorgeous.
Yes, it was insane. I'm like, okay, I love everything about this. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So he meets the mom and the two brothers, and they seem, she says, welcome to Morocco. She serves him tea. And he says, so when will Huda be ready? And he goes, she'll be in 30 minutes. And then they get, because he says something about the car. And he's like, she's in a car?
Yeah. I was confused too, Mark. Yeah, I was right there with you. I'm like, so she's not here. She's on her way. And why the hell is it taking her 30 minutes to get here?
But no, but she was upstairs.
Yeah.
So they say, where are you from? He says he's from Chicago. And he says, most people know from home of Michael Jordan. And it's just like blank. And he goes, and McDonald's was founded there. And they're like, oh, great. And so he says, I own a little bit of McDonald's. So I like it when you eat there. I was like, your jokes aren't landing.
Not at
Stop,
all.
Grandpa. Stop, Grandpa.
Mm-mm.
Stop.
That's exactly what he sounded like. Was a damn back
Totally.
in the day I had stock in McDonald's. Yeah, that's what he sounded like. Shut this speak. But I think he was nervous.
Yeah.
And he had every right to be, because I would have been a nervous wreck sitting there. I haven't met this person, but I'm talking to her entire family right now.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, have you heard of Michael Jordan? He's even older than me. So the brothers in the hallway, the one brother goes, his outfit is classy and fits him like a glove. And the other one says, his outfit is classic.
Classic. Yeah.
And then the other one goes, listen, in Morocco, we don't wear these kind of outfits on a first date. Really, you only wear these kind of outfits at a wedding. Okay. But I was
Nina
like, well,
did
but
him dirty.
he was set up to fail then, because she told him to
Yeah.
dress nice.
Nina did him double dirty this time. She
I
really
think so.
did.
I think so. So now Huda comes down with a little dog, and they shake hands, and everyone sits around and stares at him. And then the brother goes, so how old are you? And he goes, I'm 44. He goes, 44? You're old. And Mark's like, yeah, all right, but I look young. Okay, can we go? Are we ready? Is that what the car was about? Like, there's a car. Can we leave? Can we go?
His brother sounded like me when I tell producer James he's old because he's 44 and I'm still 43. I'm like, dude, you're old. Like, what's wrong with you? Yeah.
I say all the time, Dave is 8 months older than me. So I'm always like, yeah, Dad's super old.
It makes a difference. It really does.
Makes me feel young.
Mm-hmm.
So they leave and they get her in the alley. Now she's wearing like a long, like beautiful, colorful maxi dress. So I think they seemed equally matched in their outfits.
No. Mm-mm.
He should have taken the tie off.
He should have taken the tie off. Yes, most definitely. Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. So outside she goes, no, I didn't know he was going to be 44. I prefer a younger guy with a sporty outfit, not this 20-year difference. It's like,
Nina, what the hell? She totally dropped the ball on this. She should.
I agree.
Girl, this man is 21 years older than you. Like,
yeah, I agree.
That's not cool. Mm-mm.
It's not cool. She told him to dress a certain way, and then nobody liked it. And then he says the one girl was too young, and then she goes 1 year older. I think, not great.
Nina, we watching you, girl. Mm-hmm.
We're upset with you, and so is Tanika.
Yeah,
All right, now let's go to Nathaly, who I'm going to be interviewing next week. She'll be on next week.
She's just so pretty.
I like her little giggle. Yeah, I like her little giggle.
Yes.
How did you feel about this guy that she went out with? And he had that ear piercing, that bar across the top of his ear.
Okay, so
I find that interesting on a man.
Thought that you want me to be brutally honest, right?
I asked you, yeah.
This is so stupid of me, but I always compare people. Every person looks like some type of animal in the wild. Okay, I truly.
My friend Emily does this too.
Okay, so, but in his case, he looked like a pig mask.
I'm gonna have to give Alejandro a second look because I thought he was cute. I didn't get pig mask. Okay. All right. Well, my friend Emily always compares people to, like, what she say, vegetable, mineral, or animal. And you'll be talking and I'll go, you remember that person? I'm describing somebody from college or something.
Yep.
And she'll be thinking about, oh, yeah. She looked like an acorn. Like, a what?
I agree. Yeah. Yes, we all look like something. Yeah, we cannot all share this earth and not look alike. We all look like something. Yeah, I agree.
If you think Alejandro looks like pig mask, I am terrified to find out what you think I look like. I'm scared. But Lord, please tell me I look like a flamingo or something pretty, because it's going downhill from here. Oh my God.
You do have, actually, if I'm being honest, you do look like a flamingo.
It must be my long legs. I have got to steer away from this conversation and get back to Alejandro. All right. So she gets in the car with Juan Pablo. Juan Pablo is sort of like, I don't know if he's like the narrator. He's the voice of reason, because it's always like you get in the car and you tell Juan Pablo all your secrets. You know?
I think he is Nathaly's love match. In my head, I think that they are a match. I think she should try to give him a shot.
Well, I remember when she first saw him at the airport, and she was like, hey. And you were like, she was like, is this the guy? And I was like, no.
Their conversation flows well. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
My opinion.
Wouldn't that be crazy? So she gets in the car and she's like, I've got another date today. I guess I'm excited. And he's like, okay, I'm going to take you. And we never find out. They're at some sort of like it, because we see rock climbing and it seems like, is it like a rainforest? We never get an explanation
Is it like
of what kind of
a botanical
gardens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she meets Alejandro, and Juan says this is going to be a good match for her because he's a little bit older and calmer and not as much of a bad boy. And Nathaly tells us what she needs is something between the bad boy and what her mother is trying to set her up with. Like, you know, she doesn't need to go all the way over to one side. She needs something in the middle.
Right.
So they're talking, and he says, so what do you do? And she says, oh, you know, I was going to go to law school, but now, like, I just had my whole life I was going to go to law school, but now I'm thinking I'm not so sure. What do you do? And he says, I'm a DJ. And she's like, say what? She was like, I would have thought you were like an English teacher or like a science teacher.
He kind of does look like a teacher. She's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would have thought that bar on the back of his ear would that's a good DJ indicator, I think.
Well, I mean, teachers in the summertime, they put the bars back in their ears. They do. So, yeah.
I was like, can you make a living being a DJ? Maybe. Maybe he's up into club like James Kennedy. I don't know.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out if they go out on a second date.
So in the talking head, he says, yeah, you know, she has nice, warm, sweet energy, and she giggles when she's, you know, and she giggles and she's talking about him. It's like, yeah, he's attractive. So as they're walking along and they're talking about dating, and she's like, when was the last time you were single? And he says he's been single over 6 years, and that he really, when he dates, he like really wants to construct a connection or something like that.
Right.
So then I don't know how the conversation started, but they're talking about religion. And she says her mom is Buddhist and her dad is Catholic. And she's always been taught all her life to meditate. And he says he used to be atheist, but now he's really into meditating. And he thinks it's very cool that like she's sort of into Buddhism because of her mom. Right. She asked him about his tattoos. One of them is like the universe is all of us or something. And she's like, wow, deep. Yeah.
They were both like, that's so I will say this. This was a good date because she was not all nerved up and
right.
When she's like this, I don't know if she realizes or not, but she's sexy without even trying. It was all about the confidence. I'm like, girl, you better get your man. Go ahead, Nathaly.
I think that's right. It's the confidence. That's right.
Yes.
She felt more confident in the conversation because she didn't feel like overwhelmed, like he's a bad boy. He's going to try to get me later or something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, they're talking and she's asking about his tattoos and he says the one, universe or whatever. And then he says, we have constructed a connection and the conversation is flowing. He's now said constructed a connection twice. I think this has got to be like a language barrier. He's like, we've created a bond or whatever. Yeah.
Because he's making it sound like they built something with Legos every time he says it.
Yes, totally. Oh my God, it's Jenga. So, he says he's spiritual and he believes in things like angels, even though he's like, like from the Bible, like angels, even though he's atheist. And he goes, and I do have contact with them. And she goes, oh, with angels? He goes, yes, I'm in contact with them. And she goes, okay. And he says, but I don't talk about spiritual stuff before sex. And she goes, okay, like why? And he goes, because then you don't get laid. And she goes, okay, so she tries to talk more. He goes, so you do want to talk about it? She's like, no. She gets all nervous.
You ain't getting laid today. Which, okay, from the previews, I was like, that seems really weird. But when he said, it made sense. Like, once people hear that, they may think he's weird and they don't want to have sex with him. So it made sense, when we got to see the full episode.
Totally agree. He's trying to say, like, I don't tell people this. They think I'm a weirdo and then I never have a second date or whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
So she's off on the side and talks to producer and she goes, well, okay, I was confused by that, but I would like to get to know him more. That was weird. Yeah. So they get in the car with Juan Pablo and she was like, so like, this is really fun. I'd like to see you again. I was like, look at her being forward. Look at her.
I love it. Yep.
I love it. Yeah. And he says, yeah, I would. I'd like to text you. And so she's sort of leaning in. They're getting their phone numbers and stuff. And she's like, there's my hotel. And they hug and they give a little kiss on the cheek. And she says she's very excited to go on a second date with him.
Well, her mom was not in her ear this date.
Yes.
At all. And that last conversation she had with Juan really made a difference because this was a total turnaround.
Yeah.
So,
Juan is listening to her. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
All right. Now we got to go on to the best thing that's ever happened to this show, which is Harold. Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
So cute. Now you recall
Yes.
last week we were on the date and he said, would you like us to go to the hotel? We could have some dinner arranged. And he did. He called the hotel and they had a private dinner arranged like in the basement of the hotel.
That food looked really good. Maybe I was hungry when I was
I
watching
think you
this
were
episode because
hungry. Yeah.
everyone's food looked. I was like, Harold, give me a little bite. What that tastes like?
I didn't even see the food. I wasn't even looking.
I did. Yeah, I was hungry.
I just noticed this week on 90 Day, before the 90 days, because what's his name? Riley goes to see Violet and they get up to leave the dinner and she left a full like Cosmo martini on the table. And I was like, girl,
Why did you waste that drink?
leave no Cosmo behind. What are you doing? The drink was full. I was so upset about it. So I do notice things like that. But what I was noticing towards the end, when we get towards the end of this date, that they were having coffee when he said, do you want to go to my room? Because I was like, are you right in the middle of your appetizer? But no, they were having coffee. So they'd had all the meal, the dessert, everything. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're at this private dinner and she takes her hair down. And he was like, oh, you're so beautiful. I was like, uh-oh, Harold.
He's like, that's Rapunzel. It's Rapunzel.
Yeah, he's like, wow. And he's just like so into her and thinks she's so beautiful. And she thinks he's so cute. And she says she's holding her rose. And she's like, I've never met a guy like him. And maybe it's too fast, but I feel very free and normal with him. And I feel like a queen with him.
Mary Payne, every time he says something, I'm holding my breath thinking she's going to run away.
I know.
But she doesn't run away.
No.
She loves it.
She feels free and normal with him because I bet she goes out with guys and shows them her Star Trek pictures and they're like, what? Weirdo.
Negative.
Yeah,
I agree.
So at dinner, he goes, so do you like my clothes? And she says, yes, you look very nice. And he says, normally these are not my normal clothes. But listen, we thought he was on board with the clothes, but he's not. He is not on board with these clothes.
Well, when he asked her, hey, do you like my clothes? And she's like, oh, yeah. I thought he was going to say, wait till you get a look at my suspender collection, which she'll probably like.
I think she'll like it. He said, normally I don't dress like this. I like to wear jeans and T-shirts, but Katerina told me I had to wear this. I really like to wear comfortable clothes. And she goes, me too. I like to wear T-shirts and comfortable jeans. And they both go, jeans. Yes. Yes. So I was like, all right. But I think he's just not on board with these clothes and he's really looking for some validation that he'll never have to wear them again, But
at least he did listen.
He tried. He's trying.
Yeah, he tried. Yeah.
Yeah. So they talk about when they last went on a date and she says, oh, I haven't been on a date in about 4 months. And he goes, mine was like 6 years ago. And I had a girlfriend that ghosted me when I started telling her that I had feelings for her. And she's like, no, that's terrible. And he says, I would just always treat my partner with respect and love. And she says, well, I could see that. And he goes, yeah, that's kind of my thing. I'm just nice and respectful. And she's like, that's great. That's so sweet.
They're just sweet. Yeah.
So then he says, I want to know what you're looking for in a boyfriend. And she says, somebody that likes the same life that I have and has the same kind of hobbies that I have, someone I can speak to without being nervous. And that's his same thing.
That's Harold.
And he says, well, I hope this is not too forward, but how soon would you want to get married? I was like,
She's like, how soon can I get to America? I'm ready.
I am a spa attendant, and there's lots of spas in Los Alamos, New Mexico. So she says, well, it's important, but it's for when you feel it, which I didn't quite understand. But I guess she means like maybe the time is not important. It's just when you feel it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what she meant too.
So he says, I really love the conversation you were having. Can I hold your hand? And she goes,
I thought that was going to be the moment, Mary Payne. I thought,
this is the third time I thought it was going to be the moment.
Yes,
this is it.
Me too. Yep.
She's running out of there, but she didn't.
Yep. Nope.
She said,
not at all.
Okay. She stuck her hand across. And then it was just so awkward because they're holding hands across the table and it's sweet, but it's so awkward. And he says in his talking head, he says, I've been wanting something for so long. And there she was across the table. And I'm just so happy about the connection that we're making. I was like, oh, please don't break his heart.
Yeah, and I was also thinking, are you gonna let her hand go so she can finish eating that delicious looking meal? It was all about the food for me. I'm like,
I know,
how's she
I
gonna eat her
know,
meal?
I
Yeah, but it
know.
was sweet. And everything that he does that kind of comes off a little bit, is cringy the right word, or
Yeah, yeah, uncomfortable, weird. Yeah, yeah,
uncomfortable? Yes.
yeah,
She's right there with him. I'm
yeah.
like, okay,
She
okay.
is. She is. So then he says, would you like to see my room? And then she
I
just sort of stares at him
thought
and he goes, I was like, that was number 4. I was
that
like,
was
that's it.
it. That was
That was
it.
it.
Yep. It
He says,
failed.
I can show you the things that I've collected on my trip to Prague and also my photos and my books. And then she stares at him. She goes, sure. Sounds interesting. Yes, we can go. And then she says like
Wow.
3 more times, we can go. We can go. We can
Yeah.
go. And he says, here are the stairs right here. It's 5 flights. Or we could take the elevator. Guess we're going up the stairs. Because she
I would
just
have been like,
starts
look,
walking up the stairs.
I would have told
5
her we're gonna have
flights.
to meet each other up there because I'm not walking up 5 flights of stairs. I'll see you at the top.
I was like, yeah, that's 5 flights. Is I think 3 is my limit.
No, yeah.
So they get to Harold's room and he's like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. It's a mess. And he says, like, you could tell I didn't know how the date was going to go. I didn't clean it.
Right.
But did you notice there on his little ottoman were all his new clothes folded up very neatly?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
he has new
Yeah.
clothes folded there. And so
Hmm.
he's like, let me, he's moving everything around. And he says, I'll show you my most private thing. It's my book of my inventions. So he
Sexy.
shows her one that's a pool noodle with cuts on the inside of it, so it makes a sound.
I don't feel like that invention is going to go very far. I think he's going to have some issues with finding investors for that one.
Mhm,
So let's
mhm.
just flip the page and go to the next one.
That one was interesting, and then he shows her
Yeah.
some other and he's like, "These are easier to understand," and she goes, "Oh, easy for you," and laughs, and that just made him so happy because he was
Yes.
like, "Oh, I'm so smart." She couldn't understand. It was
She thinks
so
I'm smart.
cute.
Yes.
So cute.
It's going perfectly. It really, really is.
So then, because he said, "Do you wanna see my pictures?" I don't so
Hmm.
then she was like, "But do you have family photos?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he says, here's a picture of my mother. And then
Hmm.
here's a picture of some rocks in Los Alamos where I live. There's a picture of the desert.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, and here's a picture of me and my uncle. Look, I'm wearing my Star Trek shirt there. And she goes, hold on. And she gets out her photo of herself in her Star Trek full
Yep.
costume.
Hmm. And he's like,
Oh
that's so
my.
cute.
They're going to be going to Comic Con and Star Trek
If
Con, and
this
they're going to get William Shatner to marry them. And I'm so excited.
if this
So
doesn't work, I have lost all hope in love.
same, me
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Hmm.
So he says, with Teresa, whatever the fuck her name was, he
Yeah.
says, with
Bitch.
Teresa, bitch, bad teeth.
Yeah.
He says,
Hmm.
there was a fear of rejection, but it just feels so easy talking to Michaela. And when
Yeah.
I'm talking to her, I don't feel embarrassed. And I feel like myself, I feel like a whole person.
He's going to be calling her Misha next time. It's going
Keisha,
straight to the nickname.
you know I have a cold black heart, and nothing on these
Me
shows
too.
ever makes me cry. Remember that time you told me that you teared up when Amber and TC were fighting? I was like, what? What's wrong with you? I
Yeah.
never have any
I think your
feelings.
heart is darker than mine, Mary
I never
Payne. That's
I have
scary.
this thing with Harold and Michaela is chipping away. It's really,
Well, because we don't see genuinely sweet, loving things on TV anymore, especially in
yeah,
reality TV. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just nice. And we're rooting for Harold so much
yes.
that, yeah, it's going well.
Because
Maybe we'll get an invite to the wedding.
she says normally she gets so nervous when she talks to people. And he's saying when I'm talking to her, I don't feel embarrassed. So they're really
Yeah.
able to understand each other.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. So then he says, so how do you feel about this date? And she says, it was wonderful. And he
Hmm.
says, it's been the best date I've ever had. And she says, well, you were great. And he says, you are great. And then he puts his hand on her knee and then they kiss. And then she leans and kisses him.
And kisses him. Now that surprised me because I thought he was most definitely going to be the one to get that going, but it was her. It was Misha.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
leaned and kissed him, and then he smiled. He was like, I haven't kissed anybody in so long, and it's a good thing I was still good at it. And oh my gosh, it was so cute.
They have kind of the same smile.
Yeah, they're both like, he, but he,
Yeah.
he has obviously trained himself to say something and then
Just,
smile.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yes, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
So she says, it was a great date and I'd like to get to know him more than just those few hours. It was really great.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's leaving. She's getting in like the production van and he leans in and kisses her just very naturally.
Yeah.
And
This
then
is it.
he does a little dance. He does a little
Well,
dance.
did he lifted her up too before she got into
Yes.
the van? I'm like, this is it, Katerina. You have done your job.
Yes.
Look no further.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, is Katerina going to be able to help Michelle? If she could, yeah.
Ooh,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know
Guess we'll
either.
see. I don't know.
We'll see. We haven't seen enough of Michelle.
True,
They gave us her kooky side first.
true,
It's
very true.
just like what's her name that was shit. Chris and Jamie. So Chris, remember they gave us kooky Chris likes to wear costumes. Chris and Jamie.
What
Chris
show? What show? What show?
90 Day the other way. There were lesbians, Chris and Jamie. Jamie was from
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Columbia.
Yeah. The one, Chris is the one that everyone ended up hating in the end or
Yes.
something like that. Okay, yes.
But she gave us, at the beginning, she gave us kooky crazy. Look at me. I'm wearing a tutu to check the mail. Look at me. I'm
Right.
so wild and crazy and I'm a lesbian, and like all
Yeah.
that. I've been married 3 times and somebody stole my motorcycle, And when she gave us kooky crazy and she turned out to be a demon.
Okay.
So I don't want Michelle to turn out to be a demon. I want her to stay on this like I'm a princess vibe. But I don't
We
think
can deal with that
yeah,
rather than a demon seed.
kooky crazy turns into a demon we don't need.
Oh boy.
All right, so next time on, Michelle meets a guy with huge hair, and then he puts a chef hat on top of that huge hair. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
He had like
Yeah.
that big pompadour that went way up,
Yeah.
and then he put a chef hat on top of it. It was real weird. It's real weird.
There's a lot going on with that head.
And so they meet, and then she's chatting with him. And she's like, "Oh my God, it's so crazy! This year I went. It's like Orlando. It's like a fetish festival, and and she's just chatting. He's like, okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And then he's outside laughing. He's like, oh my gosh. He goes, well, she is a world different than most Czechoslovakian women. That's for sure. It's like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So then we see Huda ask Mark at dinner, do you normally date women older? And he goes, older than what? She goes, older than me? And he was like, okay. Check, please. Where's Nina? Check, please.
Because she literally could be his kid.
Totally could be his kid.
Yeah.
Yes. And so could the other girl. Yeah.
Yep.
Nina, we love you, but you dropped the ball on this one.
Girl, you better get it together real quick, Nina.
Yeah. Does Noradine have a friend? Okay.
Right.
So now we see Juan goes with Chad to get haircuts. I was like, did Chad not get his haircut before he came here? I don't know. Juan's like, let's go get a haircut together. And they're shaving all that hair off. And
I think they're just thinking of places that would be cool to film, and that's just different. So
yeah,
you did it.
Yeah, that's strange. So they're talking, and he says, listen, I talked to Maria, and you're going to need to go slower. You're going to need to slow your roll. And Chad's like,
yeah.
Okay. And he said, did you ask her on a second date? He goes, no. Was I supposed to? It's like, oh, God. All right, Chad.
Ugh, boy.
All right. Thank the Lord we get the return of Sanika. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. This is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
She says it's been a few days since she's seen Noradine, and she's very excited to see him again because Nina's got her running all over with these bad dates.
Yes, she does.
And he's on the phone, and he tells her he's very excited to see her again. But in order to see each other again, she's going to need his mother's approval. So you're going to meet my mom tomorrow.
Oh,
she's
boy.
like, it didn't go so great last time I had to meet a parent. Like,
no shit. It couldn't have gone worse.
That woman came in and was like, welcome to our family. Here are your flowers. Please get in the kitchen and start working. This is a family business here. Yeah.
And I've already named your firstborn child. Yes,
That's right.
it was.
Welcome. We are here to welcome you to our family.
Yeah.
Now, Susan goes on a date. This is her third date. And apparently Juan has to be there to translate because he doesn't speak English. Yeah. This guy has an eyebrow piercing. What is up with the men in Colombia with these face and what? This guy's got an eyebrow piercing that looks infected. It didn't look good.
Or he just needs a little Neosporin on it, Mary Payne. That's all he
Something.
needs.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And so she's talking back and forth with this guy, and Juan is translating
Mhm.
and said, have you ever been married? And she says, yes, she was briefly for 2 years. He says,
Mhm.
okay. And then she was like, I don't always think marriage is not always necessary. And then the two men stare at her like she's an alien. And that's the end.
Which is kind of weird, but I'm sure that's not how it is. That's just how it's edited for this
Yeah.
preview. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel what is she, 52?
Yeah. Yeah.
She
52.
may not want to get married. She just may want a life partner. And I mean, a
I
lot of
didn't think
people
it
are
was,
doing
I
that
didn't
these
think it was a,
days.
I didn't
I
think it
didn't
was a
think it was
weird thing to
odd.
say.
Me neither. No,
If she,
not at
I
all.
would think it was weird if she said it. She's 25. She might be like, it's
Me
a piece of
neither.
paper. It doesn't matter to me, because
I agree.
everybody's got
Yeah,
different opinions. You just have to agree with the person that you're with,
right.
They look at her like, what? You don't want to get married?
They looked at her like she had an infected eyebrow piercing.
Yeah. Because she was like, oh, this guy's really good looking. I was like, mm-mm. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. No
Boy.
eyebrow piercing for me. And I can't believe she would like an eyebrow piercing either. Maybe she could overlook it.
Or he could
Or
just, I don't know, take it out and let
take
it
it
heal.
out.
Yeah.
Let it heal. Yeah. Give it over to Alejandro, Nathaly State. Yeah.
Right?
She told me that they stayed when she moved over to the second location, the second hotel in Columbia, that Nathaly was at that second hotel and that they really kept
At the
them
same
apart.
time?
Yeah. They were filming at the same time.
Okay.
And then she didn't meet her. They kept them apart.
Oh.
Yeah. And Chad too, I guess, would have been there as well.
I wonder
Yeah.
why they
I don't know.
kept
I
them
guess they didn't.
apart.
Maybe they didn't want him to compare notes about Juan. I don't know. Isn't that
Well,
weird?
maybe the girls could have helped Chad out a little bit. Maybe they,
No
because
kidding.
he needs
No
all the help he can
kidding.
get. Yeah.
What if Nathaly and Chad make a match? I can't see her
They
going
would
for
make,
Chad.
but they would make pretty babies. Can you imagine with her
Yeah.
dark skin tone and his bright eyes? That would be a beautiful baby.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to go up to the club like she does. Mm-mm.
Well, I'll say this. If it does happen and they do have kids, we should most definitely be honorary godmothers.
I think so. And I think that when Nathaly and Juan Pablo make their love match, we'll say Keisha called it.
Right?
Yes, Keisha
They're
called
going to name their first baby Keisha. Boy or girl, Keisha is the name.
On 90 Day, before the 90 days, there's so many. The one that we're currently covering on Tuesday's show. There's a girl
I'm
in
not
there.
watching it.
Okay, there's a girl in there named Misha.
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, she's drop dead gorgeous. And so she's
is
dating
she?
this guy in Israel who's a 46-year-old virgin. But
What?
she's like a former weather girl on the TV. That's what she looks like.
So
I mean,
she's okay. So she's pretty.
she's incredible looking. But she had an epiphany late in life to drop to her knees and become a Catholic.
Oh, okay.
And this guy's like super Catholic.
Oh.
And so she's met him through like Catholic websites. And so he's a 46-year-old virgin, not drop dead gorgeous. And she is, but he says her name all the time. Like Misha, like remember Debbie used to go, Osama.
Yes.
What are you doing, Osama? He says her name constantly, Misha. Misha, we'll eat this hummus, Misha. Misha, I'm so happy to see you. Misha, what have you done? Your clothes are all over the place. Oh, Misha, we're going to get, like, she knows her name. But every time he says it, I think Keisha. Because it's Misha. Yeah.
Misha. I know. Yeah. It's
Misha.
something about us Ishas.
Yeah.
Look, Bruno Mars even has a song about us Ishas.
He does?
It's called Calling All My Lovelies.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And he says the Ishas?
Yeah. He's like, I've got Aisha waiting, like Aisha waiting. All the Ishas waiting on me. Yes.
I love Bruno Mars.
Yes. One of the best concerts I've ever seen. Bruno Mars.
He's been here a couple times and I haven't been. And I know I would just love it. I just think he's such like a modern day Prince, right?
And you know what? And the show isn't over the top, but it's so good, and he sounds even better live than he does like on his albums.
Because he can really sing and he can really dance.
He can really, and he does both. Yes, very good. Next time he comes, you got to go see him.
He's just like a little pocket person. Just stick him in your pocket, and here we go.
He really,
he's
a
little fella. He's a little fella
with a big voice, with a big voice. Yes,
just like Prince. R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Well, Keisha, what did you guys talk about on the Libra Lounge this week? You told me that your dogs barked. That was a problem. I know the feeling.
That's in the beginning of the show. And then I interviewed Patrix and Patrika.
How was it? Extreme Sisters. How was it?
They're so funny. And they're so
funny.
They are pretty much exactly like what we saw in their season. Like
Okay.
there was no faking it or anything like that. And they had on these bomb ass wigs.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, so this one had like it was black, light pink, hot pink, and I know
Uh-uh.
that sounds horrible saying it, but it
Uh,
looked really fucking cute. I was like, can y'all send me a wig and we can be triplets? Yeah. So
did you do any video for it, or is it just audio?
no, it's just audio. Yeah.
Okay. Well, which is the one that's married, and has she set
That's
her sister up
so
yet?
Patrika is the one who's married with 3 boys, and
Hmm.
Patrix is still single. And I actually told her I may have to help her out.
Okay. And how's the Orlando dream happening? Orlando.
It currently is still an Orlando dream.
Okay.
They have not
Okay.
moved. I told them they needed to just buy some property there, rent it out, and whenever they want to
Yeah.
go there, they've got a place. They were like, "That's a good idea." So, yeah, very good interview. Super sweet.
All right. Well, I'm going to go listen to that because I need to know did they tell you if their Orlando obsession does it involve Disney World, or is it just Orlando itself?
It's just Orlando. I don't think I even asked them that because I remember from the season, everything about Orlando. They just
Okay.
love it. Yeah. Mhm.
It's real weird.
Disney's just the icing on the cake.
Right.
They love
Okay.
Orlando. Yeah.
And one of the son had gone to school in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He studies filmmaking, as a matter of fact.
Is he in Disney College? Did you find out? Is he at Disney
No, he's not in
University?
Disney. No,
Okay.
I don't think
All right.
so. No, they didn't say, but I don't think that he is in Disney College. Mm-mm.
University of Disney, where you learn to be a princess with no tattoos. Yeah.
I've known a couple of people who have done that, who've
Yeah.
gone to the Disney. Yeah, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
who would have thunk that there would be a Disney College? But here we are.
If you're gonna work in those parks, there's a lot to know. There's a lot to know.
That's true. That's true. Mhm.
Every single person in that park has to know, no matter where they are at any time, how to get to somewhere else, because they have to be able to tell people directions. And they're not allowed to say, I'm not sure, let me ask somebody else. They have to know. They are picking up garbage. They are working behind a counter. They are operating a ride. They have to know wherever they are standing and somebody asks them directions, they have to know exactly how to tell somebody to get somewhere.
I get fired
That's
on
hard.
the first day because
That's
I don't
hard.
Google it.
I'm like, don't you have a map on your phone? And they're an app?
Exactly.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting. Listen, everybody go and listen to the Libra Lounge with Keisha, and you can hear her Patrika, right?
Patrika.
Patrix and Patrika.
PMP. Yeah.
PMP from Extreme Sisters. Do you know if they're going to be back on Extreme Sisters?
They don't know. They don't even know why they weren't on season 2.
Oh, okay, weird. They were so
That's
good.
very, very, and that's what, and they said they have been DM'd so many times asking, where were you?
Where
guys?
are you? Yeah.
Yeah, and I told them, and season 2 was a snore fest because
Wasn't
it
it?
wasn't good without them and Brooke and Bailey. Like
It wasn't as good. Yeah, it wasn't
No.
as good.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Oh, Lord. All right, everybody go listen to Keisha's interview with those two. And, of course, please follow us over on Pink Shade Pod on Instagram. Still out here hoarding myself out for Instagram followers. From my interview with Landon, and he did a reel from Landon Talks, I did get 300 more followers, Keisha.
Nice.
It was a big day at Pink Shade LLC. A big day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Now, it slowed back down to a trickle. But in that one day,
That's okay. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's a big boost.
A huge boost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. In the words of Melissa Gorga. Thank you, Jesus. All right.
And tell Nathaly I said hi and that I love her. I
will.
think she's so pretty.
I know. I think I'm talking to her this week, and then the interview will air next Monday after our thing here, our recap. And then after that, you and I are going to have to figure out what to do about all these shows coming on at the same time. Oh, it's stressful.
Yes.
All right. I will talk to you next week. Thank you, Keisha.
Okay, thank you.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find. Catch me a catch.
It's so pretty.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book and make me a perfect match.